Over here in the top left corner, we have from Team Mouse Sports, DreamHack winner, ESWC winner, as well as just overall great guy, great Protoss, trained hard in Korea. It's Mana! He's out to defend his current DreamHack title over in, Nerchio has a current DreamHack title over in Bucharest. In Valencia. Man, wow, there's so many DreamHack events this year. There's DreamHack Stockholm, Valencia, Bucharest, winter and summer. Man, I lost track after a while. Oh, you're right. Tasia won Valencia. Which one did Nerchio won? Oh, Nerchio won Bucharest. That's right. Okay. So there's just a lot of events that you kind of lose track over time. But, I mean, that's kind of like what it is. Like, DreamHack champions, if you list them all, Nerchio, Tasia, Thorzane and Mana, those are all incredibly talented players. I feel like Mana has to be the one that has poise and can go far in this tournament.
Agree.
I think it'd be cool to see Mana like a foreigner, another foreigner to go into the top 8.
I do feel, though, that his PVZ is the one matchup. I mean, this has always been historically true. His PVZ has been the one matchup that's really been holding him back. PVT, PvP, I think, is really solid. But PVZ, I just haven't seen too much innovation from him. He always likes to play that standard style. He's like Hasuobs in that fashion. However, he just hasn't been able to piece everything together in PVZ to play that standard route, to be able to just macro up and compete with his opponent. And it's kind of unfortunate. That's why we see a lot of 3-base pressure coming out from him. And sort of, I feel like him being in the European scene should actually have a ton of information about Mana to let him know that this is the style that he should be playing against.
That's right. For clarification, Mana won DreamHack Summer. That's right. And he's played a lot of PVZs to get there back when, when he even got 3rd and 4th at Bucharest. When he lost to Bly. I think sort of also plays such in a safe way that, or it's not safe, such a standard way that I think Mana actually will be very comfortable playing against a player like Sortof. Because when we saw ZVZ, Sortof does like the same builds over and over and over. And he's not afraid for repetition, but refined repetition to outplay you. And I think that's where Mana's great because he can adapt to his opponent. I remember his series against Demaga for the DreamHack Championship title. And Demaga would still do all these kinds of crazy stuff. Some games he would go Ling Bane, some games he would go Roaches, some games he'd do this. And eventually Demaga settled on Ling Bane, and Demaga eventually ran out of options because Mana figured him out. He said, I'm going to go charge out Archon and just absorb everything, go for a War Prism attack, Blink Stalkers. It was really cool. And I think Mana can play a great series, not necessarily just a couple of games.
That's true. He definitely is a lot more experienced in that fashion. And keep in mind, he's such a young kid as well. I think he's 18 or 19 right now. And he's just been playing on fire as of late. And I think it's because he's been able to just concentrate on StarCraft. I know he took a complete year off before actually going into university just to train for StarCraft. And let's be honest, Mana's one of the most, I think the second most successful Protoss in the world.
Really?
Behind MC.
Mana is.
Yeah. It's only like
I think Rain is a little bit more successful currently based off his winnings. I'm going to check.
Oh, yeah. There's Rain and also
Parting.
Parting.
Who just won $100,000.
But recently he was just second place. Oh, wow.
Look at this. Okay, so MC is first at 350K. No one's going to catch him.
Yeah.
Parting's at 130. Heroes at 87 and Mana's at 85.
Yeah.
Rain's at 84.
So there was a time where just like I think 2 weeks ago, Mana was second.
Yeah.
And he was one of the best Protosses. I mean, it's arguably, but he was one of the best Protosses in the world.
Yeah. To round out that list, Creator, Huck, and Naniwa are the next 3. Great list for a top 8 in terms of Protoss's earnings. Mana, of course, going for a Stargate on Ohana. Not the most common openings. We often see Robo, but you can go Stargate. Do you like Stargate on Ohana?
I love Stargate in every single map, Frodan. Seriously, go look up, after NASL is done, go over to YouTube, look up Todd's PVZ instructional. It's actually one of the coolest videos ever that changed my PVZ completely.
Why don't you marry him?
I do. Todd, if you're listening out there, I love you. I'm gonna tweet him after this. I'm gonna tell him.
I thought you were in a relationship with Sir Scoots.
No, that ended like a year, 2 years ago, man.
Why do you still have it in all your status?
In Twitter.
You make it official, right?
All right, Frodan. Gosh. So,
I'm just trying to
Frodan,
make.
are you jealous?
I'm just trying to
Frodan,
make you be transparent.
Are you jealous? I think you're jealous, Frodan.
I'm not. I'm concerned.
You sound jealous.
As a friend.
Oh yeah. You're jealous.
That's not.
You're jealous.
Can a guy look out for his friends?
Yeah. You
Can a bro look out for another bro?
No, you can. Better watch out though, because I can easily set a bro fight.
That is the best. That's one of the best videos on YouTube. How to start a bro fight. It is so funny. Gosh, it's great. Summarizes college perfectly for me. Now Mana, he is going for a robo right afterwards. Very staring to go for that, and you can take a third base off of this too. We see a lot of Korean Protosses like this style. If you don't want a 2-base all-in, you can take a third base. The only thing is that this style is actually very weak to Mutalisks. So people don't, or sorry, not Mutalisks, very weak to mass roach pressure. Why did I say Mutalisks? I wasn't thinking about that at all. It's kind of like a weird thing because you kind of use an old build to kind of pressure it, but the idea is because you go Phoenixes and Robo, you don't have enough units, and if you have a lot of units, you don't have backbone because you can't capitalize on Robo.
Yeah, it's kind of this fine line that you're really trying to skate across.
Yeah, you're spreading your gas really thin.
That's right. And there's like a 1 to 2 minute timing where you just don't have anything. And that might be sort of cue to actually pressure up. Now you can see a lot of sentries. Sentries are time buyers. But what are you actually buying time to?
Time customers.
Time customers.
Time consumers. Actually, I don't know why I'm giving you a hard time about that. Oh, Mana! Ooh.
Yeah, they are time buyers. What are you talking about? They buy time.
Yeah. But they're also, well, that's true, they don't consume time. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember specifically though once I worked at a Circuit City back when I was like 16 and trying to pay for like my movie dates. Because I mean, how else am I supposed to get money?
Yeah. And movies cost like $30.
Yeah. Unless you went to Mega Movies in East Brunswick. As you saw a little run by attempt, sort of going to take a fourth base, which is the right move. But they always say, don't call them a buyer, call them a customer, a consumer. Like, they're very important. So.
In Six Flags, they call them guests.
Yeah, I remember.
I know that because I worked there.
You worked like a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you've worked at ooh, whoa, hold that thought. A big job is to hold
no!
it off.
All right, that's like game over.
Wow, oh man, he's lost so much. That's so devastating. How is he going to be able to come back from that?
You don't, Frodan.
Well, the one thing that was really cool is that sort of did stall for time on the third base with the creep, and then he did the Destiny retard magnet. He was like baiting it out. Right?
I guess so. There's this unit called the Infestor, and it's really good. And when you're able to make a lot of them, they win the game.
Yeah.
And you kill all those units, and Mana doesn't have a push anymore, so you can't stop the fourth.
Well, to be fair, it does require good control. Otherwise, Zurich would have easily won BWC. But, I mean, Mana, this game is kind of hard to salvage, you know? It's just, you're very far behind. You can't get that third base. You want to play that third. This is what we're talking about. Just a super aggressive style, but, I mean, you don't want to lose your sentries either in that regard. Mana does clean up most of the Zerglings, but sort of got what he wanted. He has a fourth base. He's getting the gases. He's very comfortable. He hasn't lost too many drones. He's at almost 80. He's gotten Infestor Tech out, and he's getting good upgrades.
He has 9 Infestors.
Yeah.
9 Zealots and 2 Immortals. He has more Infestors right now than Zealots are out in the field.
Pretty sick. Sounds like a winning combination to me.
Yes. It does.
Sort of, he's also just going to start opening up his pathways. Like the idea of spreading creep also. Very underappreciated in Zerg versus Protoss. Everyone kind of talks about it with Terran because siege tanks and positioning. Catching them is very important. But creep spread is also extremely valuable in Zerg versus Protoss. Especially as your Festers pop in and out to fungal. and you need their mobility to be able to control them at maximum efficiency.
All right, well, the Infestors are going all the way across the map. Of course, Infested Terrans are just so powerful at this stage of the game. Actually, not this stage of the game, but rather what happened in the beginning stages. We're going to see probably sort of just try to take control right here.
Infested Terrans and Fungals can just pretty much end everything as Mana, well, he backs off and avoids the Fungals. It's very nice, and he does manage to deal with, well, I guess he does back off. The Colossus managing to pick off most of the AoE, but the Zergling run by here is able to pick off almost the rest of the units. GG. And Mana drops game number 1, sort of. Moves up 1-0.
You know, that mid-game stage, or the early mid-game stage, is very unforgiving. If you get your Zerglings, if you get your sentries surrounded by Zerglings, by Roaches, in the beginning phase, and you don't have force fields up, the game is almost always over. It's so difficult to come back from that. Think, if that's 6 to 8 sentries that we saw right there, that's 600 to 800 gas, that's 2 to 3 minutes worth of gas. That's really, really rough on you.
You said gas 4 times in one sentence, Andre.
Gas.
I think it was very valuable to that.
Gas is one of the most important things in the game, guys. You guys don't understand.
Clutch, what resource do you think costs mana a lot?
Gas. Well, another thing that cost mana a lot was not proper scouting. You know, in the military, we had a term, recon, and you'd send one scout if it were to assess the situation, to get the battle report or the sit rep, and to send it back to the rest of the forces. Now, if Mana did that, if he sent maybe one zealot out to see what was actually outside of his base, his forces would have not been surrounded. He would have had his defense at the top of the ramp and it would have been a different matchup. So.
To be fair, he did have Phoenixes moving out across the map scouting. It's just that he didn't know where the positioning of the Zerglings Roaches exactly were.
Exactly.
So he was scouting, but he wasn't scouting for the right thing.
Exactly. And that's half the battle, scouting for the right thing.
That's Knowing is half the battle.
The
Go Joe!
And another great way for people to know what's going on recon-wise is to make a website. What better way to make a website than to use Squarespace, nasl.tv/p/Squarespace, where you can make your own website, put yourself out there, and get people to look at the information you think is important. And what better way to know what information is important than by checking websites?
That's right. And when you're while you're on the website, nasl.tv/p, backtrack to the Squarespace and type in S4 Finals, where you can get the LA Byte promo code, $20 off the ticket. I mean, tickets are selling out really quick. You guys want them as soon as possible. It's awesome. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be there. You guys should be there. I know a lot of our subscribers are talking about getting their own ticket. It's in Long Beach, California. Great restaurants around the area, as well as all the kind of cool stuff you'll be seeing all weekend.
That's right.
Guys, game number 2 between Mana and Sortof will continue right after this break. But first, we'll take a minute, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back just a sec.